Alright, my babies. So, here's another video. I'm exactly where I need to be. I will do what needs to be done. Ah, isn't that beautiful? So, since I wrote it on this book, so it's definitely not a statement to me. But it's probably it's not a statement for me. Because every once in a while you kind of like take a piece of paper and you kind of write down your affirmations. Like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do, and all the good stuff. I will make it, yes. But this sounds like I got fed up and wanted to actually like explore it differently. So I'm exactly where I need to be. Need is the word that's used right here. And I think it's all right. So like a video of this has come to me. Alan Watts has come to me. There's I don't know, man. I'm loving this dude, my guru. I call him, like, I don't know. I learned transcendental meditation when I was a kid. So I listened to Maharshi. I love the way he speaks, but he's not as assertive as Yogananda, the guy that I read his autobiography and I basically followed around with him in general. And I think Kay basically, or one of the, is it him? Okay, so I don't know. It's okay. The face is coming to my head, but not the name, which is perfectly fine. But it's just if all you do is look at your situation and do what needs to be done, right? The idea behind it is you will start resolving things. Oh, Dr. Jordan Peterson as well. You will start resolving things based on whatever you can reach right next to you. Is probably the closest thing to you, and let's think about it figuratively. And the closest thing to you is basically the easiest thing to handle, or to interact with, or to engage with. It's because that close, right? Like, you don't really have to squint your eyes to see it. Why? I don't know why I'm pointing to the ground, because like maybe subconsciously I imagine doing what needs to be done. Don't we all imagine what needs to be done is kind of like beneath us because you thought one step ahead, but effectively your physical experience hasn't been able to catch up with your thoughts. Okay. Um, okay, it's funny. Uh, do we become smarter the more we think? Or do we kind of like become, and I'm not going to use the word dumber, because I don't think dumb is the opposite of smart. I think the opposite of smart is incoherent. The reason I chose that word is because, like, being smart should literally mean should should respond to a certain presence, a certain quick wittiness, and if you're quick on your basically feet, if you're kind of like witty this way and all the good stuff, then you're kind of that means you're more like interactive with your surroundings, right? Like you're noticing things when other people weren't able to. You're catching on to things faster than other people could simply because you kind of like are more dynamic that way. So that's kind of like what smart is. So the opposite of smart is kind of like disconnection, right? You're not able to utilize many things. And it's not like you're dumb, it's just it's not like you're not smart, it's just you never built these networks. with your surroundings. You never engaged with your environment. You never engaged your mind, basically, probably, or something like this. And I feel there are, right now, I'm looking like there's the there's the disconnected that don't really have the capacity, and there's the to kind of like process. And it doesn't really mean they're not smart. It just means that they're not able to be like quick on their feet and that kind of stuff. Academic is different than smart, right? Just to be clear. Learned is different than smart. So we're talking smart. We're talking like, yeah. So you got these people that don't have the capacity to think and or don't want to, right? Like a lot of people are just not interested. Maybe they're easily trusting. Maybe they prefer to follow instead of to lead. I have no fucking idea. Maybe they're just like don't really want to take that. Well, they're not interested in taking the step forward. I don't fucking understand how they can't. I mean, like I don't. I'm not. I I can't consider them not smart because they kind of made that decision to kind of just enjoy life the way they do, right? They kind of like anyone could. If you're making a decision, you're smart enough, right? But it doesn't really mean you're kind of like smart. You're kind of like I don't know. I have no idea. There is a certain understanding for you to make a decision towards yourself and like kind of like cope with it. That doesn't speak of smartness. That kind of speaks of your character, which is beautiful. But again, like we're kind of looking at if you're connected, exploring, able to interact with your surroundings at a fast pace, or not. And it, this quote, "I'm exactly where I need to be. I will do what needs to be done," revealed. I kind of see what needs to be done as something that I'm beyond simply because I thought an extra step to the future. But that makes me not smart at all because I never gave my environment the chance to interact with me in terms of my thoughts. Because I thought like about a couple extra things, but to reach them, I have to do what I'm doing right now. In my mind, I reach them, but the environment kind of has to catch up to me. And we're interacting this way, you basically like you're creating a detachment between your physical self and your present self in this reality and your mind. And again, like the same thing happens if all I'm doing is worrying about the future. The same thing happens if all I'm doing is dwelling on the past. As long as my mind is active separate than the rest of me, I'm detached. And it doesn't matter how pretty the words that we use are. And it doesn't matter how exciting the feelings become after we realize certain things. We're disconnected until we actually work upon them. And we owe it to ourselves to be able to catch up. Because our true self, well, our self now, our true self is basically the I, right? The I, the connection. But ourselves in this world, the ego in this world, wants to change with us. But in a way, the ego is actually something that's was built because of our own survival instinct and fear. When we're just thinking about things and not really giving the ego the chance to feel comfortable with them in order for it to change, we kind of lose the whole point of thinking, don't we? Huh. Much stronger relationship in my head right now is formed There's a bit more respect to the efforts that I actually like do when it comes to like today. Really, like I spent 3 hours before I opened this laptop specifically to write and to speak about this, and it's showing me. Yeah, I kind of like played around with like doing and not doing it while I kept saying I want to do it. And who decides what needs to be done, basically? What needs to be done is based on what I made a decision in my head. But my head is refusing to give my body the time in order to do it because it wants to think of the next thing and next thing and next thing. I think that's where like flow gets built because like your mind kind of relaxes and releases itself, and it's a meditational state, right? In a way, I'm creating a balance between the thinking and the doing. And this connection is what thrives, what allows the combination between me, myself, and I to kind of be present and thrive. This was beautiful. It's a video, guys.